Oh, shoot. Welcome to the live, whatever. Y'all know what it is. 10 times out of 10, they're already subscribed. Because they're already looking to figure out wherever this is. I feel like the bullies are now having to deal with their own bullies about certain things resurfacing from the past. And somebody could be ready to spaz out about that. Because apparently, what I've been speaking on is a proven fact. 10 times out of 10, these people want to join these organizations and groups and stuff like that. Especially these motherfuckers want to be Easter stars. They only with you, oh, well, he gave me this. So now you feel like you got to be stuck with that man because he gave you herpes or HIV and shit like that. I'll be damned. Life goes the fuck on. Also, in a situation, I don't know what this wanting to apologize, the wisdom, higher fire energy is about. Because it's like, for someone you carry both energies, it's like really giving words just like I want to just read for myself, not for the public, but for those who choose to, receive it, to resonate with it. Hopefully you learn and grow from it or whatever, because vast majority of it has to be, 100% of it. I know for a fact it's dealing with me personally. Most of the time that you'll hear people say, oh, you're not able to read yourself or things like that. There's only particular people or ethnic groups that are not able because they don't see it, or it's due to the simple fact that they're not prepared to see the reality of what it is that, you know, 10 times out of 10, they don't want to believe like the stuff that their ancestors did. They don't feel that they're the ones paying for those things. Also, it'd be people that don't be prepared to know that in certain instances that there are people willing to pay or cause it to seem like this illusion as if you're getting karma and you're not necessarily getting karma or anything of that sort. It's just these people like to play in this type of energy. They do this in the background, and their hope of what it is that they do is like, the people that are really, seeking after, truths and liberation and things like that, that they don't see it for what it is, right? And then when you starting to see what it is and you really starting to see the truth and you're being the person to speak up on it, these will be people that will create hazardous environments for you to be perceived. So say if there are people that do have empathy, compassion and things like that, they're wanting you to be perceived as a person that, oh, they don't need help, they're just evil and they're just this. But those who learn to wake up to it and gain the common sense, and they get their senses back into themselves, they start to really realize at the same time what's going on. And in this situation, it's a lot of where people, in my instance, where it's been military wise, it's been more purification, protection from impious and religious sediments. Okay, this is leading me to go ahead and we can work it open. Why not? Who wants to deal with lawsuits all the time, right? Everyday language. We'll use impious, right? You could also look it up in the Cathars as well. It's useful. All right. So LM. Okay, there we are. LMN P P P O Q R S. That's imputing against it. Not impious, profane, irrelevant, right? So I was very already aware. Protection from the irrelevant, right? So when you're getting purification and protection from the irrelevant people who use religious sediment. So sediment for those who need to know. I miss reading it. It's like you never know how much you miss certain things until you get back into it, and it's like, this is exciting. Why I didn't open this up a long time ago, but it's like, oh, made of shoddy, poorly made, or workmanship. So these people with shoddy behavior of so-called pillars of the community, they're very shoddy instead of saying shitty. I like that. Yeah, vocabulary build, vocabulary build. Something I needed to do, but it's called for me to go, honoring that. Is this a paper cut or something? Most likely. Let's see, sediment or sentiment. My bad. Senile. Saffron, the highest order of angels. So someone you could be in that area, but you're now about to proceed and elevate to another level. Sediment, thought and judgment influenced by feeling, emotional attitude. Okay, religious, emotional attitudes of those who are basically thought and judgmental. They're in their feelings, right? So these are one of those things where you have people in that, which is a form of prejudice. Holy writ, right? Which is Christians that's coming from God or presuming to be, but then they're not. They're acting like hoodlums. A brutal person is as often a member of an organized gang, okay? A couple of hoodlums held up the convenience store. These are a bunch of hoodlums holding up certain things to even a score and not understanding what it is exactly that they're choosing to do with their behaviors. Thank you, dictionary. I missed you. I miss my dictionary. All right. Cycles are breaking in certain aspects. Restitution, find stolen objects and discover the person responsible. So right now there's a lot of people that they're discovering at this time who are very responsible for this. This is also something about kidnapping. This is also causing harm. Somebody that could have been born in 1969 is being found out. It's something that they could have been on the trail of people since like the 15th or January or in May, or they could have been watching a group of people since January to May. I feel like this month could be them coming to the resolution of exactly how it's been played out or how people could have been using this. This is like a couple. King of Cups, Queen of Wands. This is also someone wanting to come in and like apologize and heal a situation. Here's somebody that could have been like listening to somebody from their church or something like that to go along with this. I'm hearing misinformation but it's like, even then, it's like, why would you still go along with something, regardless of just because, oh, they trusted and it doesn't matter. Why don't you see for yourself? Because it's like nothing justifies a person doing anything to another person unless you can see within yourself versus taking the word of just because somebody comes to me and be like, this person is a serial unaliver, they are a rapist, they are pedophile. Okay, I need to see something for myself. Let me ask this person a question. Let me sit down. Either they're going to choose to tell the truth, they're going to choose to tell a lie. There's going to be paperwork, whatever the case may be. And whenever you can just sit there and actually find the information on your own, this is not like I'm just going to do it off the fly because the church members told me this, or we went to this church, or we were part of this organization. Now you could be looked at as a hoodlum because it's like, oh wow, because no way, no, yes, you're looking at yourself as a hoodlum at that point. How these people want to be gangsters and that stuff, like, but what are you? But what are you? What justified you to go ahead and cause a hindrance to somebody else's life? What are you when you go ahead and intentionally do hateful things towards somebody and you don't even have the facts? You didn't bother to even look at that side of the person, ask them questions or nothing. You were just okay with just doing it. Well, my family said this, and then your family said this, and these people were your friends and they said this, so it's cool to tend towards you. You deserve that. Wow. They deserve that because what? And then God forbid that these are the same people that they went through certain habits or they went through prominent things in their life. But however, wouldn't you want somebody to ask you, what did you go through that caused you to go through that? Versus in my situation, I didn't put myself in those accordance, but at the same time, it's like choices and decisions, you're not sure. But at the same time, I had to realize I was in desperate measures, really looking to, you wanted to have love, and it was a downfall. I was looking to get out and get away from people, and it was a downfall. In the process, I ended up creating children, and then those children end up, hey, stuff happens. Who is this King of Wands and what do they want? I feel like anytime I see the King of Wands card, like it's like now it's like I build up this like intolerance. Like it's one of those like, ew, like why are you here type thing. Hangman. Desire to know, protects from liars, evil spells, and bad spirits. Is somebody just being protected from whoever this person is? Or religious sediment, irrelevant and religious sediment. This is like someone hoping that they can do something that's like, I don't know, someone trying to convince people. They've probably been trying to convince people I do voodoo work on men and all this other weird stuff. I ain't ever did that a day in my life. I could care less. Yeah, these are like people wanting to be blind. What's up with this King of Wands? But I didn't know. Loyal and allegiance, knowledge of good and evil, wanting to be helped lifted up from something that they fell from. This is like somebody falling from grace due to the fact that they wanted to cause something else in somebody else's life. That was also that lead me to the point of, I watched something earlier and it was basically saying, be mindful about how people want to give you gifts or, give you money and stuff like that, because the energy that can come along with it is like, he that giveth, he shall take it type thing. Like, okay, I can give you this money right now, but I'm going to find a way to take it away from you. Or it'll be like, he gave me sunglasses and I threw them shits away immediately because the energy didn't feel right. But it's like, you give me sunglasses because you wanted me to be blind or put on the blinders to what exactly it was that he was doing. And once I realized that, it was just like, it's like, how like you have your high and your low. It's like, oh, I would still be open to love. And then it's like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? It comes, it goes. It's just, to me, it's like a natural occurrence. Like now it's just like, it's built a habitual thing where it's like, I don't, confirmation. I don't bank on people staying in my life. I don't care if they do. I don't care if they don't. So it's just like, change is inevitable. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it works, it works. But it's like healing somebody. It could be like a judicial system. It could be a governmental system. It's some type of system that wants to heal something for you, or a kind giver or a gesture. For somebody, you could have like some type of intelligence or a group or something that wants to like bring in like fulfillment, like Two of Cups, Nine of Cups, the Sun. Like, It's like support of some sort, like wanting to give you some sort of support genuinely. Spiritual communication from an emperor. So someone that could be in a position of some sort of authority that can actually help you. But is this genuine help though, Spirit? I was saying, so new beginning, discernment. It's like using the discernment about the situation. Universal medicine. Governs dreams just to see something, but a tower moment. Like the tower moment was when I ended up seeing the dream. I was like, why am I seeing Rio in my dreams? Why am I seeing everybody from Affinity Hair Academy? It was like seeing Rio, I saw Betty, I saw Yesenia, I saw Ingrid, and then I had saw some other people, you know what I'm saying, that I probably just didn't pay attention to. They was in there. And I was just like, that's crazy work. But it was just like in the dream state as I was sleeping, because I went to sleep early. It was just like, why are they there? But then it was like justice. When I woke up, it was like justice. And then on top of the justice, it was like me being able to wake up to the fact of how they were able to like utilize. Because it was like I was meant to go ahead and look up the PHA Freemasons chapter in Texas to figure out when did they go ahead and get started, because you got to have a particular amount of funds to do it. And then it was like also pay attention to, you know, when the military did their little organization of they having their own little sorority fraternity, right? And that allowed me to know, because it was like Erica Ponte, which when I was dating, what's his name? What's that boy name? The little Kabira boy. And then it was also me also having to look into like, which it allowed me to know like all of these people were like paid people to like come on in and, you know, fact check and see if she knew, has she caught on yet. The same thing with Tyus. Tyus was very generous and things like that, but it was just like, you know, looking into it because she was an Mbiji. That's why we were able to like relate type thing. Brittany and Brandy, you know, and then it was just like, that was crazy. You know, for me, that was, you know, the Alabama crew. And then outside of, was it Jamal Love and Elder as well. But it was just like, hey, it just is what it is. When I was putting those pieces together, it's just like, somebody want to put it into the cycle, but it's just like, well, who is the Fed? Who is the person actually looking to do the right thing? Because it's like when you start to look at certain situations, it's like, I remember looking at dude's birth certificate, it was like, well, if that's your father, why is he not on here type thing? But it's like, I don't even care at this point. It's just like, when things are meant to happen, it's going to happen. Ooh, excuse me. But it's just like, whoever, like this one person in the energy is just like, all right, love and submission cures illnesses and influence parental love. So father figures gives long life. So those who are willing to just like fertility, most, you know, this allows me to know like in the future I have more children or whatever, which they'll, you know, be conceived or whatever. And it leads to some sort of stardom or whatever, but it's just like right now I wouldn't want to like, where I had to like come to the appreciation like today. It was just like, it's going to pan out how it's supposed to pan out, whatever the case may be. If this is information that they're trying to hold back, and then it's like, hey brother, stillborn or not, cool, you know what I'm saying, that just was not a person to be in my life at that time. And it's like, I'm cool with it, but it's like mentally, psychologically, I feel like this is more preparation for me to be prepared that, hey, sure, you can get that shock, but the shocker of it is like, I'm more irritated that this could have just been based off a person who was a waste of time. Them, you know, their family and whatever, and then it's like for them to go ahead and do how they were doing and the money that they were utilizing to do it. It was like, damn, Sharita, you really did come from a lot of financial backing, and all the people that were involved and they used this stuff to keep like putting in to the Freemason groups, putting in into certain things, because I remember like her talking about certain senators and commissioners and judges and stuff like that out of particular states, and it was just like when they were saying that, I was like, oh, so these were people that were basically benefiting. Well, it's gonna be like a 60-40. I still get 40% every time that I sign off on this fake birth certificate. I get 60 and 40 every time that I have to botch their DNA test. It'll be, 40, 60 if, I have to do XYZ, right? So considering, like at that time, I remember it was like the possibility of, because I want to say like shit, I always had them fucking run-ins where it was like, oh, I'm not sure. Is he not? But it was like, it was one of those where I didn't care, because I think Messa even just tried to ask when I got pregnant with like Soraya, but it could have been a fucking possibility. But then it was like at the same time, they will always make me use a particular DNA test, but then it was like at the same time where it would go. I was like, shoot, just pay attention to where did it go, when they do this test. And it was just like, you know what, they're gonna do this. They put the money into, particular lab cores. So it's like whatever money it is that's been belonging to me for years, they've been literally splitting it 60-40. And with the 60-40 of how they've been utilizing the funds, this was also for them to be like, oh, we'll pay this police department, and they'll be like so enamored by us that, we can go in like, yeah, this is my son or this is my daughter. Yeah, they have certain mental disorders. So if they bring in certain cases, you don't have to take it serious. Like, this is what these motherfuckers have really been doing since I was a fucking kid. And that's why it's like I get so fucking frustrated when it comes to like, especially when like dating and stuff like that. That's where it's like, I'm forward about what it is that I want, but then at the same time, it's like me saying it, I said it intentionally because I was like, I'm just curious about who they're going to send in next. I'm just curious. I'm so fucking curious. Because I was like, I'll be damned if somebody from the past. Like, anything that literally was from the past, they're tambourine players. There's no, oh, we're going to pull a quick one over her. Like, no. Like, it literally needs to be something super fresh, super new, from a whole different, a whole different aspect. You know what I'm saying? A whole new world. Let that shit feel like Aladdin, because it's like, how it's like, you could be just like that little spoiled girl, but at the same time with it, it'll be somebody willing to come in to just play the narrative, because it's like, well, I studied and know that this is what they want. I studied them enough to do this. Whoever this judge is, I'm telling you, this judge is fit to go down in the worst way in history. Because whatever magic of them trying to glamour it, they have literally traced back to, like, say they had to go dig, when they did this investigation, right? They had to look in, for one, were they white, were they Hispanic, were they black? And with them, the black people, especially when it comes to the folks that had something to do with me. Now, the Asian people, they was just watching them because, it's already a high security alert. So anybody from Korea, Japan, China, Singapore, the Philippines, there's a high alert on them. So any type of activity that they have going on, the only one group that they were just like on the edge or the suspense about was India. But with whatever they just caught on with India doing recently, they've now hit that high alert page. The Arabic countries were able to like slide due to the fact because they are currently in the war, Russia as well. And with them having to pay attention, they've been paying attention to particular states where they can figure out that there are people with botched DCF, CPS, trafficking, and money, financial abuse. Also, they really had to start looking into psychological abuse very recently. I want to say come last year when they started something about somebody graduated cum laude. They had to start looking at psych wards, psychiatrists, and psychologists, very much so, really, really close around between 2022 and 2024. And with them watching this, what they had discovered was, I want to say it's like Lovecraft or something like that, where people do the hoodoo, voodoo rituals and ceremonies. And what they had been discovering were that there were a lot of judges, magistrates, judges, and lawyers going to do certain things over particular cases. Most of them will be over marriage cases. And with marriage, it was either marriage, inheritance, money type cases. And they've been having to watch like a particular set of judges and lawyers, and especially with their nationality. If they were Puerto Rican, Dominican, Haitian, Cuban, they watched them very, very, very. When I say they've been watching these motherfuckers like a hawk since 2022 up into current. For some of them, they've been watching them for like the last 10 years. And what they have been watching in the information that they've gotten, especially whoever, more so they've been watching more of the females. And then they've been seeing like there's give or take been about 10 to 57 of the males in the system, where they're watching like, okay, well, who are they going to lunch with? Who are these people where they go? They set these people intentionally up at these churches. These are people they thinking that, oh, there's new congregation members and stuff like that. No, they're not. They're actually feds. They were sent there to watch you, watch your movement. They were sent in to go into join y'all so-called quote unquote organizations and things like that, just to see exactly how you guys operate on the inside outward. They also went in to go see how these people move with these Instagrams, Facebook, TikTok groups. They've been looking at the particular mindsets, the financials of these people in these groups. They also been watching as far as what prisoners, what jails in particular that they're getting these people from whenever they need to do the particular crimes. When it comes to these proceedings and things like that, they literally caught on like, oh, so they'll go to this person petitioner. Oh, okay, so they'll go quote unquote to these hair salons and barbershops. Okay. Or, you know, recently that bad habit where people are doing vapes and cigarettes. They really been doing, well, the research on people with cigarettes and stuff like that, coffee drinkers, they really been watching them. And then recently they know like it was a period where, you know how we used to have places where you can go to computer labs, and then like computer labs kind of shied away. And now in the place of these computer labs is these gamer labs. And they like Miami have them more heavily than you will find them in most other major cities, but you'll find them in big cities. And what they, you know, basically been discovering, why I want to say more or less doing like COVID was a prime example where a lot of people didn't know who was the good feds, who was the corrupt feds. So some of them, even the good feds had to go along with the corrupt feds, but then they'll realize like they know they in the same job, but it was like, oh no, you know, I had to get pulled because boss pulled us to go look at this one case. It's like, oh yeah, excuse me, where it's like everybody having to be in the loop about like, yeah, you know, well, you keep doing with your case or whatever, keep me in the loop. So when I do come back in off of my case, I'll come help you with what you got going on. Unbeknownst to them, they already collected enough. So to keep them off of their rear, they were sending in some other people like, yeah, this is one of my partners from this other case. Yeah, you could trust them. Like, you know how you build some type of rapport thing. But then when it came to some of these judges and stuff like that, they was trying to figure out like, okay, how were they getting over on like blindly running like these cases and then like doing this. And then I know for a fact when it came to mine, because it was like I already had opened up a sexual abuse case about a child. When you open up any type of case of sexual abuse when it comes to child or children, they're going to hunt you the fuck down. It does not fucking matter where you go, long as you within the United States, they're gonna fucking hunt you down. I don't care what you do. So that's why when I did that case for Ayana, that was around like maybe 2016, 17. Since 2017, they've been hunting the fuck out of my folks. Because it was like, ain't no way that this mom is gonna do the fucking right thing and then she's just gonna veer off. Guess what? In the veering off, whoever they were looking for when it came to me opening up the case about Ayana, they literally had to look into the fact that, okay, I made it clear. I was like, there's a possibility that it could have happened with Adrian. However, with that, him not speaking up, but I know like the signs and things like that, I was like, it's with my son, but it's only so much that I can do. Most psychological, sane people will know at the same time, like, okay, this mom is doing the right thing. But considering that when Sheila did the most stupidest thing that year, as I'm telling her about who's the accuser and who was the abuser of the situation, I'm not giving up though information on that man, because you know them kids lie. Those are Sheila's words. Those were her same words years ago when it happened to me, when I told her about it when I was 5, when I told her when I was 10, 12, and when it happened to me again when I lived in Nashville, Tennessee at 14 years old. Unbeknownst to her, she was not aware, because like I said, when they know you are a child, regardless if this shit happened to me when I was in high school, because it did, it happened to me in middle school and it happened to me in high school. I was just smart enough strategically, even though I felt that they wasn't doing their job, because people would be like, yeah, she has this attitude, or fuck the police, da da da. But I was already told years ago, whenever there's an assault, whether you tell somebody, a person of uniform, any police officer or sheriff, and I could call out their name, guess what? You not know you're going to be held fucking penalized to the fucking worst maximum. If I told anyone, whether they fucking chose to retire or not, any person that was on those judge boards, lawyer boards during those times, and then it's like, well, I used to handle abuse cases. Now I don't do criminal cases no more. I do financial cases, right? That lawyer or that law firm will still be held accountable, especially when they have to work through certain firms to do the paperwork. You're going to be held accountable. So when it came to the case with not only with Ayana and Adrian, not only with them myself, because I already knew that they were going to follow me since I was like 14. So I've already always had eyes on me since I was 14 years old. The only thing that I was a little bit oblivious to is like how deep masonry ran at that time. You know what I'm saying? That was the only thing that I was oblivious to, is how deep it ran. So over the years where they'll be like, damn, you bring up new details about yourself every fucking time. I know, right? Because there's a time and a place to bring up that shit. So the same way where you feeling like you're still getting away with it, let me make it very clear. You're not getting away with shit, because it's like, well, we got to still play this psychological game. You're not playing. The only psychological game is that you're losing your shit. More or less, it's more people losing their shit. Reason being why you have to come here to my YouTube channel, and then you still having to pay these people because you wondering why isn't her social media shut down? Why isn't that it, this and this? Granted, they're paying attention just as well as you're paying attention. The same way that you have access to the black web and the internet and the stuff that you're watching into my home, the same way that they're going to click into it, because the same way you're clicking into it from your desktop, your laptop, your tablet, or your so-called burner phones, how is it that you're memorizing something that's going on in someone's home? Make it make logical sense, right? And then on top of that, it's like, okay, well, if we know that people have these capabilities, and with us now having that added into the pot, now guess what? Your rights of you feeling like, oh, on a state level, we can do all of this because, we can keep the feds out of it. No, man. If they can figure out in the aspect of, hey, we done watch these people manipulate this person's DNA or lab results, we done watch them do that. We done watch them go ahead and create a whole group chat, Skype, Zoom calls about this same person. Whether they mention my name or they mention the actual name, but they still presenting. Every time you come here, screenshot, right? They tracking that. Every time that, even when she was like, oh, they tracking my other phone, I need this phone. Like, bitch, it's a government phone. Let me say it again. It's a government phone. Meaning federal government will have access to your government phone. Metro PCS is government ran. So anyone, whether they feel like they're getting away with a crime, no one is really getting away with a crime. It's just that crime that they're committing at that time is not relevant to what it is that they need to supersede on something. You got to know that if anything, when it comes to federal type things, 21 offenses is more important than just 2 to 3 of them. So yes, you could have just did some crazy ass mercenary work, but it's under the 21 number. You're not relevant at this time, but they're going to also keep at the same time, you're noted. They putting in noted, okay. But with this judge and this lawyer and this sheriff's department, we didn't know that it went this elaborate, that when I can sit here and talk about anyone from New Destiny Christian Center or now New Destiny, whatever the fuck you want to call it, they've been watching those motherfuckers. Then on top of that, they've been watching the Demings. They've been watching those because I did have close interaction with your own son. Then Capri Sims and Jill Sims, they've been watching that. Then on top of that, okay, you got Carla and Shane. Carla been very close to Orlando Health, Advent Health. So they're going to keep clear fucking eyes on that. Not to mention that I already had to report in a sexual assault on my oldest daughter, but then her baby boy ends up dead. But we already, like a hawk, chasing after this woman, because how the fuck did this woman just disappear? How did this woman just disappear and she opened up this case about a child? Any real detective or real investigator that's really looking to get to the bottom of special victim crimes, they're going to hunt you down. They're going to hunt you down by all means necessary. They got to fucking figure out what happened. Where is this child? What's going on? What is the mentality or the thought process of this parent? What's going on around this parent? And guess what? Lo and behold, damn, this parent is actually being sexually trafficked in this process. And in the process of her being sex trafficked, it's her own people. Okay, guess what? That person that already has the case on that one child, now they're going back to start digging through records because this is the name that we have. And with this name that we have, guess what? They're going to do their due diligence because, of course, any investigator, they're going to start looking for your what? Social media platform, right? And in that social media platforms, even when I put in Sharita Taylor, they show that one little girl with glasses, Special Olympics, weird shit. And then it's another fucking person that's, I never seen a profile, but it's like, it seemed like they had a profile for a long time. Guess what? They're going to go digging, right? And when they start go digging, they're going to be like, the person who came to took the report, like, no, that's not their face. That's not their face. That's not their face. Guess what? They're going to start digging because MySpace information do still come up. That is that person. Okay, what has changed? The only difference that's changed for me is that I have way more tattoos than what I had before, right? So now I'm going to have to start doing a little bit more digging and investigating, right? I just want to make sure that I have the right person. With the right person, me finding out that she just lost a child. She did have these kids. Okay, that was just the only new kid in there, right? So we're going to keep digging, right? Guess who gets hit? MGA Home Care. She did have a special needs child at that time, right? Right. And with me having that special needs child, they're going to have to track every single fucking detail that there is, right? And with me them having to carry out through this detail, because now we need to figure out the state of the mom. Is the mom an actual suspect? Is she a victim in this situation? What else is going on? I'm telling you how the fuck this investigator is basically having to think in the process of doing this. And when he had to do this and what the fuck he discovered was way deeper and way darker than what the fuck he probably had bargained for. And whatever the fuck he fucking found on top of just seeing that about my child, what he found about me as being someone's quote unquote missing fucking child. The people that are now coming along in this, let me see what type of rap sheet these people got. Oh, they're military. Well, the blessing of it is, one of the investigators in here had high ranking and have people that worked in there. You know where they went to fuck up at? Oh, she has mental problems. She has this, a person who have mental problems. Most of the time they struggle to even fucking admit that. That's one. Two, they struggle to even go get the simplest fucking help. I had to beg for me to get that help to go to Sheridan, Wyoming. I had to beg. Because they felt that it was not relevant for a woman or a black woman like me. You're strong. You can handle it, right? Because a black woman's mental health or physical health is not important, especially when you go to doctors and you look at the books and stuff like that in medical. It's the same fucking thing. They'll tell you whenever a black person come in, ignore their pain. I had to beg Donald Romero for us to even come to collaborate, which is a psychologist, which I feel like he now probably should be working on his fucking doctorates. If he's not, he still got his master's, right? Out there in Colorado. So when he was out there, me and him literally had to fucking collaborate with the best fucking way in the route for me to get in to one of their fucking cohorts, as they called it, to go to Sheridan, Wyoming's mental health fucking facility. I begged for like literally damn near 3 months straight because, hey, I feel like I don't want to lose this shit. I don't want my kids to ever have to feel like they have to look at their mom losing their shit. And it wasn't I was losing my shit. It was just the fucking shitty people I had around me. And considering those shitty people were really eating off of me, and knowing at the same time, like, well, baby James was a child of ancestors, but baby James would literally be the tie to some sort of genetics for them to figure out certain shit. So them going ahead and being happy that I cremated my son would allow them to not get found out about what they were doing to utilize that boy. But now I have Soraya, Janina, and Azura. But Janina just so coincidentally looked like Jarvis Harshawn. Janina got the same birthmark as Jarvis. Really? So you really thought I was in a fucking lifestyle when you recorded me that time that we were supposed to be drunk around my fucking birthday and stuff like that? Because he made intentionally to make sure I was drunk. But that was his way of whenever he couldn't perform, he would go ahead and use his brother, who was clearly had no problem with it. Which, to come to find out, which I remember asking, I was like, James, tell me some more of your people in your family. I was like, damn, they're tied to Sheila. Me looking at Gloria, me looking at Deborah, me looking at Matthew. I was like, damn, these people look real fucking familiar. And then having to figure out at the same fucking time where they really was thinking that I'm sitting here losing my shit. No, I'm sitting here embarrassed and ashamed in a motherfucker, like this bitch really knew this motherfucker could possibly be some sort of fucking relative to me. And here it is, I'm supposed to stay married to somebody. You really think logically a fucking person would really want to stay in that shit? When honestly, that bitch and everybody fucking concerned knew I was getting tortured. And then you think I'm supposed to be like, oh, I miss my family. And I miss, there was no fucking happy moments. Any happy moments, it was a happy moment that I had to make for myself. Damn, Sharita, why you don't need to drink or what? I don't need to. I just want to dance the fucking pain away. Everybody, other people choose to want to have drugs and drink and pop pills, snort coke, shoot up in their fucking arms. I wanted to dance the pain away because that was my only fucking outlet to act like the fucking world don't exist. I'm okay with being different. I'm okay with being fucking weird. But until you have to sit there on the inside and be tortured and knowing you're being fucking tortured inside the fucking military at that. That's why it's like, Shrita, you don't want to hang. I don't care to be people's fucking friends. That's trauma on top of trauma on top of fucking trauma. And then you think I'm supposed to be concerned about a fucking man wanting to give me an offer or having a fucking kid? Bitch, you're just fucking jealous because your wound cannot heal. I've not ever seen a person so fucking low down. And it's like, for me to have hope that I only fucking came back because I wanted Sheila to fucking be better. I would have not never have brought my kids around this woman. Ever. But me having a fucking heart was my fucking failure. That was on me. And now I have to sit there and deal with that internal fucking pain on my own. That's why I have zero fucking problem with handling this shit on my own. That shit makes me angry, but I'm not going to allow somebody of a shitty fucking caliber of shitty fucking people that call themselves preachers, ministers, judge, or any fucking thing else. You're not fucking better than me. So every time that another fucking person says, she thinks this, I am. Everything you think that you feel that I am that. I am fucking better than you. I am not beneath nobody. I'm fucking superior to half of you fucking people because I have a heart. And it's like, Rita can't understand how is she able to see through this. I had to fucking beg. To beg. Like, that shit still blows my fucking mind. Like, how should you have to beg a fucking Veterans Affairs of knowing that I was not even just a war veteran. Like, bitch, I've been in war my whole life. I'm having to beg as a fucking veteran that went over there to get help. So I could be a better mom. So I could be a better fucking human. That's fucking wow. And if Donald Romero put anything otherwise on a fucking paper, I know that's a motherfucker. You gonna have to see me as a grown-ass man. You have to see me as a grown-ass man. I only stand fucking 4 or 5. Meaning I'm 5'4", motherfucker. Meaning a 45 wouldn't even be enough for me to do shit to half of you motherfuckers. And you wanted somebody to feel that fucking little based off the shit that you're stealing off of somebody because you playing the 60-40 rule with dumb motherfuckers. Which I can trace half of these motherfuckers in job positions, doctors, lawyers, nurses, teachers, and then some. They don't deserve to be in the fucking positions that they in. These motherfucking black motherfuckers rocking around here around this bitch, you real fucking proud. You gotta be fucking disgusted with yourself. You eating off of somebody else's fucking bread and butter. To even be in the position that you are. Because half the fucking time, if I gotta make it clear to whether you black or Hispanic, white folks don't give a fuck about you. You are their fucking footstool. And most of the time, I'm not like, because I'm too fucking real for the fucking reality of the false realities that half these fucking people live in. At least I'm fucking honest. Shrita, do you like me? No. Your soul and your spirit is fucking ugly. You can be the prettiest fucking bitch, but your soul and your spirit and how the fuck you treat people and behave is fucking ugly. Why you stay away? Because I'd rather be by my motherfucking self and be in my own bliss and peace than being around shitty fucking people that sit here, oh, God, this, and let's pray. Don't fucking touch me. Keep your bullshit ass prayer to yourself. And then you'll get mad because you see somebody telling you that straight to your face. You're a fucking hoodlum. If they ever bring me fucking paperwork that any and half of you motherfuckers been sitting here and you hiding behind the church, I promise you, I give you my word, I will create another fucking platform and read every single last one of you in your fucking children, in your bloodline to fucking kill. Because you don't know how to live in truth. How the hell you preaching on a fucking stand about truth and you ain't truthful yourself? But you giving a person reason to justify why you stalking, harassing, lying, and sitting here pre-coercing, premeditating somebody's fucking life, but it's justified? How the fuck is justified? Half the fucking men that you sent to me, the mother, every single last one of them, including all my fucking baby daddies, and the one I miscarried from, intentionally forced abortion at that. All them niggas is gay. And you think I got time to sit there and hear shit from them? No. That's a waste of my time, waste of energy. That isn't a fucking waste of a fucking sit down with the motherfuckers. It's a waste. They call him waste man. Waste man. Another man that can't be taking the criticism of a real ass man but want to be called a fucking man and be respected. How the fuck can I respect a man that can't even take the shit from a grown ass man or a real man? That's why they say any fucking man that chooses to go ahead and be amongst a man is an abomination, because now you're no longer in your masculine. You're a fucking feminine. That's why, hey girl, and you a bunch of fucking men gathering other fucking females to attack another woman. You don't support women. This would be the reason why I don't give a fuck about a woman's existence. But my own, because I know I'm a real ass fucking woman. I bleed once a month, 5 days out of a fucking month, and I can still keep that shit to fucking together. But you gotta gather up to try to bring someone down. What the fuck you doing in your life to do better? Oh, my bad. My husband do this. Bitch, you only stuck with your husband because that nigga gave your ass a disease and you still fucking embarrassed. That's why y'all do the sister wives shit, because you know them bitches got that shit. Why else do the music industry choose how they fucking choose the fucking women when they gotta get these NDAs? They know y'all bitches be already having AIDS and all this other shit because they fucking celebrities have that shit too. The fuck? The music industry ain't no motherfucking exception to the rule. The sports industry ain't no exception to the fucking rule. The only thing is, in the sports industry, you just can't have steroids or certain things in your fucking blood system. Or if you get HIV or AIDS. That's the only time that you cannot be in the sports industry. Herpes is an exception to the rule. Outside of syphilis and hepatitis, you are not qualified to play in that shit. Y'all need to fucking know that. But the music industry, hands off. Why else do you think they love a fucking stripper? A stripper is going to be liable to have HIV, syphilis, hepatitis, or fucking herpes or HIV. So a man think I'm going to be impressed by him dating on a fucking stripper or a back page or an OnlyFans motherfucker. No, you just like STDs. Get the fuck out of my face. I'm not impressed. Actually, I'm depressed for you. But however, as a grown-ass woman, because y'all wanted me to feel like a character off of fucking For Colored Girls type shit, these will be people that literally send in a fucking man to give you fucking AIDS or HIV, get you fucking pregnant, and make you feel like you gotta stay stuck to that man. What kind of stupid shit is that? Because you got money? That is disgusting. And then try to justify it and try to throw religion in a motherfucker's face and hope that they're gonna submit. No, y'all sitting here fucking around with a bitch like Sheila sat there and fucked on every fucking husband I had. That bitch got that herpes. That bitch got HIVs. And she needed fucking people to go ahead and violate my own fucking privacy and rights right along with her sister. Why else, if y'all were grown-ass men and grown-ass women, y'all should have made these fucking bitches approach me on their own. And they know that they're going to be quick to call 911 though. They'll be quick to call 911 because they couldn't approach me as grown-ass men and grown-ass women. I'm a threat to them. I'm a threat to their existence and for their fucking life. That's the main reason why I got common sense. That's why I don't want to step foot in fucking Orlando. Stay the fuck away from me. Anything, if I went to school, stay the fuck away from me. I don't give a fuck about your apology. If it ain't coming with money, send me my money and I'll take that shit as your fucking apology. No discussion is fucking needed. That will be respectable. But anything outside of that y'all try to play this loony shit, you have to have a fucking person to sit there and set me up, take me on a fucking date to fucking rape me? Bro, I'm beyond. It's beyond me. And then botch some fucking test results to make it seem like I gave somebody fucking disease. If anything, I'm out here in these fucking streets and I'm safe with my shit. Strap up. And if I got to name it, you can ask Andrew Hicks, did I ask you not to get a fucking condom? Did I not ask you, Mr. Nayo, from the West, or whatever fuck you want to call your name? Did I not ask you to use fucking protection? The only fucking person that did not have to use protection was Joshua Michael Gonzalez Gomez. That belongs to Marie Hicks, Wilbert Hicks. Don't let me name your motherfucking mother's neighborhood, because I'm pretty sure you got a target on your ass. Leave me be in fucking peace if you cherish your life. I'm pretty sure the fucking feds is probably sitting back and probably big much fucking disgusted with you motherfuckers. Because I was doing the right thing. Regardless if I laid with the motherfucker and there was a possibility that I felt that motherfucker was doing some shit, I did go to the clinic. Kissimmee Planned Parenthood, Orlando's Planned Parenthood, Orlando's Lake Nona Veterans Affairs. Those are the 3 locations over the fucking last few years outside of San Juan, Puerto Rico's Veterans Affairs that I've been going to just to make sure that y'all kept up with my motherfucking DNA and make sure that I did not have anything. And I've been making sure that I stayed up with it every 3 to 6 fucking months, because once you come into a clinic and you tell them that there's a possibility that your partner has been sleeping with the same sex, you must make sure you check every 3 to 6 fucking months just to make sure that shit ain't dormant in your fucking body. And I've been doing that. I cherish my motherfucking health. And then it's, why won't she give men a time? Because now it's like I'm really doing my best because I don't want to go to my old fucking ways. And even my old ways, I still slept protected. I would pick and choose of who I wouldn't sleep protected with. But 99% of the time, I always use fucking protection. I have that much fucking common sense. And I have that much fucking respect for my own fucking body. Regardless of who the fuck I lay with, use a goddamn condom. And if something was a slip up, I still make sure I go to a fucking clinic just to make sure. Because a motherfucker gonna lie. That I do fucking know. But 10 times out of 10, it's always a motherfucker trying to hide behind a fucking Bible or a church or behind a fucking false ass fucking lawsuit. I'm doing my best not to wish fucking death on half of you motherfuckers. But shit, it's already knocking on the door for half of you motherfuckers. Because some of y'all been out here fucking lying to the wrong fucking people. And if they had to keep their eye on me and seeing that all that bullshit that you telling them, that person ain't on that type of time. They don't carry that type of behavior. They don't have that type of demeanor. They don't have low self-esteem. They don't have low worthiness of worth of themselves. I know my motherfucking worth and I know my fucking value. I just lowered my goddamn standards, doing my best to give certain people the fucking benefit of the doubt, trying to help motherfuckers get the fuck up off the ground, because I believe that there's still men that they hurting in this fucking world and they deserve to have somebody by their side to say, sir, get the fuck up. But some of these, they a little bit too sensitive, and the ones too sensitive, they still got bitch in them, they still want to get fucking bent over. I have zero fucking control over that. They like get fucked in their ass, that ain't got shit to do with me. But at least I try to show you there's a fucking better way and a healthier way. And if they didn't want better and they didn't want healthy, that ain't got shit to fucking do with me. That don't mean that I'm condoning polyamorous fucking behavior. That don't mean that I'm conducting and cool with motherfuckers thinking that I'm into that swinger shit. If I'm gonna fucking do it, I'm gonna do it on my own accord, and I'm gonna do it safely in a healthy way to make sure I ain't dealing with no motherfucking minor, and I want to deal with somebody that is mentally and psychologically prepared for the fucking behavior. Not somebody feeling like it's cool to do this shit with just every fucking body. But y'all looking to justify and running behind a fucking church and running behind somebody that's sitting there clearly telling you a fucking lie. A liar gonna be a motherfucking lie. But y'all cool with taking fucking shit that belongs to somebody else and then feeling like it's cool and it's safe. It's not. Safest fucking person around. I give safe love. I give security. I give a safe space. But what happens when you sitting there causing harm to somebody fucking else for no fucking reason because you greedy for their fucking money? Oh, that was theirs? Oh, so you mean to say that they would share? I have zero problem with being sharing and being generous, but when I'm getting fucked over, now fuck anybody else. Oh, my kid is getting ready to die. Well, shit, that ain't got shit to do with me. Your kid ain't got shit to do with me, and I ain't got no emotional, psychological, or physical tie to you or your motherfucking kids. Now it's, you should have been nice in the fucking first place. If you getting readings on me and they saying she's an earth angel, believe that. If they telling you that there's something, she's a reincarnation, believe that shit. How the fuck you believing in the Bible and fucking preaching and you don't even believe in fucking reincarnation? You failed at your motherfucking missionary and all in your fucking job. I don't like how she talking. You ain't gotta fucking like it, bitch. You gotta remember you used to talk a little bit way worse than what the fuck I am right now. And now you feeling some type of way in your motherfucking boxers or in your fucking panties. Get out your fucking feelings. Your feelings is real fucking irrelevant. Wasn't mine irrelevant? Didn't y'all not take my shit in consideration in the military when y'all was doing that shit because you kept trying to initiate me to be in part of y'all fucking crew? I don't do that. If that's the case, I would have joined a motherfucking game a long time ago. And trust and believe me, I wasn't getting fucked in. They was going to fight my ass in that bitch. So how many times do you think that if I can deny street gangs when I was offered to be a fucking Rolly 60s, when I was offered to become a fucking Blood, a GD and all the rest of that shit, and I said no. I wasn't that desperate for a fucking family. But even then, I'm not willing to take on a fucking crime of other motherfuckers' bullshit because half of them don't have the mental, emotional, psychological capacity to even know when they doing fucking right or wrong. At least if I'm going to get into a fucking organization, know the difference between right and wrong. You ain't got to justify shit. You just should know the difference between right and fucking wrong. And you out here making false cases. Well, since we already made this case of her having DCF and that severe case based off of her son Marcus Phillips, based off the shit that you falsely try to accuse me of, so you can eat off of that, to put me on a fucking registry to make it seem like I fucking neglect my fucking children, when clearly the evidence that I had to prove James Potter law firm fucking failed me. Clarksville, Montgomery County, which was Stacy Judge Barnes, or Judge Barnes, whatever the fuck his first name is, but I know his last name was fucking Judge Barnes, sitting there happy and motherfucking comfy, but you knew you was fucking wrong because you didn't take the evidence. And I'm sitting here looking at my fucking judge. That's why I'm just sitting here. I'm disgusted with the fucking judicial system. I'm disgusted. I had every piece of proof, factual information that was supposed to be submitted to fucking discovery. Nah, but you had a bigger agenda. It just so happened to be a black girl that was in the military that y'all was already fucking eating off of her. So y'all wanted to go ahead and play blind, which at that time, now Sergeant Major Barone, who was Charlie Company commander or first sergeant at that time, him and the commander at that time, Charlie Company. Don't think I forgot about that in the medevac company. Sergeant Gresham, he knew better. And y'all was willing to tell a fucking lie. Why? Because I wasn't smiley and want to be in all y'all fucking faces? Because I was selective? And then you get mad because I'll call all y'all bitch asses out when you fucking wrong, you wrong. It wasn't about fucking rank. I always respected the fucking rank. But the person, if they were just shitty, they were shitty. If Andrea C said something way different than what the fuck it was, I got a problem. If Amanda Varela said something different other than, we got a problem. If Carrie Barber said something other than, we got a problem. If Mr. Nogsworthy said something other than, we got a problem. If Benjamin Summers said something other than, when I know those were the two main people that was fighting for me to get my rank, how many times was I supposed to stay on the promotion list? How many fucking times? All the way to fucking Fort Carson. Taylor, do you like me? No, I do not like you, First Sergeant. And it rubbed your ass the wrong fucking way over there at Fort Carson Delta Company. Did you want me to lie to you or tell you the truth? Even the warrant officer that we had at that time, he told me straight up, I don't like black people. He made it fucking clear. But out of all the black people, he said, I'll make an exception for you. At that time, E5 Sergeant Johnson, who was running the tech supply shop. Let's make that shit clear. Don't ever fucking disrespect me, especially in my motherfucking military career. I did the best with what I could, what the fuck I had, and any fucking body that knew me in Delta Company in the fucking GSAD talking shit, you know you running a motherfucking line. If Zondria Williams said something otherwise, we got a problem. If Tony Tolliver said something otherwise, we got a fucking problem. It's only so many people that I kept close. If Joseph Mesa said something otherwise, we got a problem. And I was fucking on them. Indeed. So be mindful about how the fuck it is, because there ain't no embarrassment or shame. Shame, tell the truth, shame the devil is what the fuck they say. Ain't no shame in me, ain't shit to be embarrassed of. But apparently you need to know somebody's fucking body count. But know the difference that if you gotta be in my motherfucking sexual fucking history and know my prowess, ain't none of them consist of me sitting there doing him, and her. Because the only time I did a him, that's with Joshua Michael in Puerto Rico, September. Do I need to put the date? I don't give a fuck about who getting embarrassed and what kind of way it is. Don't lie on my motherfucking name. Your feelings will be hurt way before mine do. Feelings, what the fuck are those? Emotions, what the fuck is that? I fought to be in an emotional state, but in an emotional state where I'm giving people compassion and I'm giving y'all motherfuckers passes, y'all over here thinking that you can give motherfucking passes to sit here and try to, if we can't lock her up in a prison and then get her shaken up and then get her into the psych ward with Eileen fucking Diaz from Aspire program via the Veterans Affairs program, via the Fox program, which is money that was ran from the Black Panther or PHA program, aka the military program of black people. Oh, we didn't know where the money was being traced to? We know now. Damn, Sharita, everybody ain't got a dark past like you. No shit, Dick Tracy. But if you did, then you probably would have been fucking smart enough to leave me the fuck alone. When somebody say leave them the fuck alone, you don't know what somebody's suffering through. Why don't you do better with your fucking selves? Because sometimes when a person's saying leave them the fuck alone, they trying to sort through some shit. The truth will be known. And before the fucking month is out, I was really trying to give y'all common courtesy. But y'all had literally between the 14th and the 28th, and you try to give them to the 28th, it's all right. Because whatever it is, judges or whoever the fuck is delaying this motherfucking court case, count your motherfucking days. Because the next motherfucker that enter into that apartment 2055, the next time that these motherfucking people in this goddamn neighborhood in Preserve Leaf start nutting the fuck up and acting stupid than a motherfucker, you gonna have a problem. Not me. Because they watching y'all motherfuckers like a hawk. They watching every fucking person that you send into this motherfucking neighborhood. So where the fuck you could have came and fucking apologized and got a little bit of fucking redemption, sit with that shit. Sit in the fire for all I give a fuck. They said be mindful about certain things when people gift it to you. Is the money coming with stipulation? Shit, just, I know I ain't coming with stipulation if you ain't putting it in my hand. Shit, just put that in the fucking bank account since y'all watching my fucking bank account any fucking way. It's only a fucking dollar in that motherfucker. It's $1.47 fucking cents if you gotta fucking know. And like I said, I'd rather fucking starve than sit here and be concerned about fucking people talking about, well, we have been putting things in the community so they can eat. I don't give a fuck about that. It still come with an energy. And it's dirty. Giving dirty off and talking about I want to marry you. Motherfucker, you don't even know if you want to be gay or fucking straight, bro. I'd rather a fucking man that know what the fuck he want and he know he want to be with a fucking woman and do the right thing. Not sit there and just try to use her so he can get what the fuck he can get off of her. But it'd be your own fucking mama or your own fucking people, the female in your fucking family that's fucking you over. What the fuck is this fucking bullshit ass man want? Using magic just to, voila, magic. Look at that. Look at that there. We can go ahead and change their mind about this. You ain't changing my mind about shit. Stubborn like a motherfucker. You should have apologized when you should have. A fountain of wisdom. And it's like, I want to use them because look at their brain. And now they probably won't, like, somebody fit the guy to have a fucking target on their goddamn head due to the simple fact, like, damn, you must be stupid in the head. We could have did this, this, and this with them. Not against them, but with them. And you fucking it up because you selfish. Motherfuckers be selfish. But I already knew once I figured out the pattern of how y'all could manipulate and cloak the motherfucking energy around motherfuckers. Sheila can cloak her energy because she's a water sign. Patrick can cloak his energy because he's a fire sign. Right along with Carla. Right along with Kiera. Johnny can go ahead and cloak his. I don't know if he's the Aquarius or if he's the Virgo. Michelle and them can collect their energy in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit be fucking beyond me. James and all these other motherfuckers. Like, I wouldn't want no fucking ties to these fucking people. Run these shit. Give me money. Put it in my motherfucking account. Don't hand it to me. Just send that shit, Cash App, whatever. But all this shit, like this making somebody feeling like they're superior, like you gotta control a woman. Like, motherfucker, I am not meant to be fucking controlled. And now we want to hide like, oh, it wasn't nothing like that. And now you use magic to go ahead and control somebody else and their destiny. Like to stop healing. Oh, we need them to stop healing. We need them to stop growing. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, this is somebody's parents or some shit, like parents or elders wanted to use religion. Well, you know, in our spiritual practice, you know, we can't take this on with these type of people, but you can sacrifice them for fame and renown, influence, and get your business going and take trips and discover more through them. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Y'all need to be fucking ashamed. Y'all was real fucking fulfilled based off of this shit.